What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Um, Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content, right? And with that being said, I want to talk about this discussion that's going on about Shea Gilgris having a bigger bag than Michael Jordan, right? And so I first heard, I think it was the guy, Danny Green. He was having a discussion. I can't recall who he's talking. It may have been Paul Pierce. It was Danny Green and Paul Pierce, right? And Paul Pierce, said that Shea got a bigger bag than Michael Jordan, right? And so I was like, wow, man, I definitely from the very beginning I disagreed, right? And which I still do, but I was like, yeah, man, you guys must not have watched like all the highlights of Mike like going up and floating in between like three players and scoring on the opposite side of the basket and watching how Mike operated like on the wings with his footwork and stuff like that. You know, I didn't get it, right? Like Michael Jordan, in my opinion, like the most graceful basketball player, in my opinion, to ever play basketball. You got Dr. J. You like some of his plays and some of his dunks are iconic. Who else was graceful to watch? George Gervin with the when George Gervin was with the Spurs. George Gervin with that finger roll, he was very graceful and had a bag also. You know, so man, but I just couldn't really, I can't understand why somebody would say that this guy, like Mike, ain't had no bag or his bag wasn't like that, right? So this the thing though. Number one, if you compare Shea Gilgris, right, he's not as strong as Michael Jordan. He's not, and in my opinion, he's not even as athletic as Mike, And so, like Mike game, in my opinion, just advanced so much further than a bag, right? Kobe Bryant was somebody else too who was he had a bag and he was good to watch. But a bag, like Mike Game was just so efficient. Like if you look at players who really do have a bag, like you say, like people say they use what's the guy? Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, like ball handling and can shoot with the left hand, shoot with the right hand and all that. But it's not efficient. Mike stepped away from all of that. Like earlier, you watch Mike earlier in his years, he could score almost at will, you know, and he had moves. I mean, his first step, he had the mid range, and he would give you moves from time to time. But his first step was just so dominant that a lot of times, he just went by guys, made them look like they was standing, like they had their feet was nailed to the floor, right? So, but Mike Bag was oh man, like the shots around the rim, it just was crazy. Shea don't have that. But let's just say, like, for the sake of argument, my game was so evolved that it wouldn't be like I said, it went beyond having a bag. Um, Mike became more efficient as he got older. He became more efficient. Like what he used to do, like on his first 5 to 7 years, he cut back on all that, high flying, all that stuff like that because it was wear and tear on his body. So he learned how to play on the wings. He learned how to play with his back to the basket, because that's what basketball really is. It's about being efficient and effective. Like I said, take Allen Iverson. Like Allen Iverson got a bag. If you watch Allen Iverson clips, you see Allen Iverson. He made guys fall on the floor. What was the guy name? Was it Jock Vaughn? Jock Vaughn made him fall. Other, a lot of guys, Allen Iverson, just he'll stop on a dime and you'll keep going and you'll fall, like crossing guys up, changing directions. Allen Iverson had a bag, right? But it didn't translate into championships, number one, and his game was not efficient. Allen Iverson was a volume shooter, right? Mike Jordan, at first, Mike was a volume shooter, but Mike in basketball history is one of the most efficient basketball players to play the game. Mike, he didn't after he learned that he didn't have to do a whole bunch of dribbling to get to his shot. You don't want to play like that, you know. So I'm surprised that NBA basketball players, guys who played the game, are not really telling people about. They're not explaining like what's the difference between having a bag and being efficient. Like which one is more important. Let me listen to what Gilbert Arenas had an exchange with the guys on his podcast. What was it? Kenya Martin, and I forgot the other guy name, but let's listen to them and what they said. And I'm gonna give a comment on what they had to say.
Athleticism you have, the more things you need to add to do the same thing as someone who's very athletic. He has to have the up and unders and stuff like this, but MJ's bag came in a whole different form. And when we talk about bags, we only think dribbling moves.
Shai is not athletic. He has to have all that. They're right. Mike had that one gift. Jump the over you.
I agree that he has a deeper bag. Jordan's bag, it was very elite. Your aerial movement is a bag. Your 360 moving. All this is considered a bag when he was getting ready to shoot. It was aerial. So it's a very different bag. So it's really kind of hard to compare.
I've heard stranger things before.
Yeah, me too.
3 guys agree that SGA has a deeper bag than Michael Jordan. But then also say that all of the whoop-de-whoop is the actual part of the bag. If it's a part of the bag, then that means that like he blows them out the water. Just tell me, what have you seen Shai do that we haven't seen before?
That's a great question, right? Is that Rashad McCants? He asks, what have you seen Shai do that we haven't seen before? Like Mike made some moves. Mike made moves back in the 90s that people don't even try anymore. Like nobody will ever try what Mike did, you know. I like Shai. I like the fact that he has a mid-range game that's very efficient. That's why he's having the type of success that he had. Mike doing things that, you know, like people don't even, if you try the moves that Mike did back in the day, you probably would get pulled off your coach will pull you off the floor, you know. But yeah, man, you know, I don't understand how these guys
that we haven't.
I don't understand how these guys can say that Mike, like this guy, like the bag that Shai has is better. Kenya Martin just said that, you know, Mike jumped over guys. Let me see, because Gilbert said something else too. Let me go back to another one of Gilbert's statements.
Pearson, Danny Green says Michael Jordan had a limited bag. Okay, and the nigga bag was from 1980. How elaborate did you think that bag was going to be? He didn't have no crossover, barely went behind the back. 1-2 dribble, fade. The bag is new, y'all. Having a bag is something new. He had a bag in the 80s. It was better than everybody else's bag. And then, you know, other players started coming in with a little extra shit. Grant Hill had a little bag. Allen Iverson came with his little bag.
See, he mentioning guys that didn't even win, right? Grant Hill, Allen Iverson, you know, Kyrie do have a ring, right? But that bag, you as a professional basketball player, if you can be more efficient and shoot a higher percentage, then that's where the success come in. Mike put all that to the side. Mike put he left that bag in the bag, right? So Gilbert Arenas is talking about he described Mike's game, right?
At 2000, Kobe had a bag. Paul Pearson, Danny Green says Michael Jordan had a limited bag. Okay, and the nigga bag was from 1980. How elaborate did you think that bag was going to be? He didn't have no crossover, barely went behind the back. 1-2 dribble, fade. The bag is new.
All right, so he said 1-2. Gilbert said 1-2 dribble and fade. That's it. That's all he needed, because if you can't stop, you know, if he give you a head fake and he dribble 1 or 2 times to the left or to the right and pull up, why do you need to dribble the ball like Allen Iverson? Why do you need to dribble the ball like Kyrie Irving? You dribble 1 or 2 times and you are open for a shot. I seen guys like James Harden dribble out the whole, damn near the whole 24-second clock. Luka dribbling out damn near the whole, LeBron dribbling out the whole clock, and then throw you the ball, pass the ball with like 2 or 3 seconds left on the clock and expect you to get a shot off. It wasn't like that with Mike. You know, basketball didn't used to be even played like that. If you was playing on the court and you dribble, people would say, man, what are you why are you dribbling the air out the ball? You know, you make your move, you get the ball, you make your move. You know, sometimes certain gyms you go to, as soon as you touch the ball, everybody start counting down from 5. You can't hold a ball. You know, that's how basketball used to be played. That's how you learn how to be more efficient. You know, if everybody in the gym, as soon as you get the ball, everybody go 5, 4, 3, 2, and by the time you got to get open, or you have to get a good shot in that time. Ain't no holding the ball for 20-something. Anybody, you know, can get a shot off in 24 seconds. Anybody at the NBA level, you could take a ball player off the bench and say, okay, I'm gonna give you 24 seconds to score. That means you can dribble as much as you want. Anybody can get open, but everybody can't get open in 2 seconds. Everybody can't get open, you know, off of 1 or 2 dribbles. You know, everybody can't do that. Everybody cannot be that efficient. Now, I do give it to this guy, Shea. He is efficient like that. You know, he can get to his spot and get a shot off. Cade Cunningham, the kid in Detroit, he can get to a spot and get a shot off. I like that, right? And that's why I say basketball nowadays is going back to that old school style of thinking, that old school style of playing. That's why, you know, it's becoming more and more exciting to watch, because you know, James Harden dribbling for the whole 24-second clock, then he'd take a 3-pointer. Like, the 3-pointer is there all day, every day. Larry Bird only shot the 3-pointer when he had to. Other than that, he wasn't shooting no 3-pointers, man. And so, yeah, Mike didn't need no bag. Kobe didn't need a bag. Kareem didn't need a bag. Kareem had the sky hook. What you need a bag for when you got the sky hook? So it's an interesting conversation, but younger players need to know, man, you need to develop a go-to move more so than you need to, you know, develop a bag. You need a go-to move, whereas though you can get this shot off at any time without it being blocked or without somebody being able to stop you. You need a go-to move. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.